Also, the instructor, Delante, definitely make sure that any questions that you have does not go unanswered. Very genuine, very transparent, and really loves what he does. And that's one thing that I look for in a mentor.
This broadcast is brought to you by Bold People Get Rich. For more investing knowledge, be sure to visit www.bpgrinc.com.
Sharing what he's learned with others by hosting courses on investment strategies.
To be able to pass that knowledge on to other people, it makes me feel like, I'm doing something that's valuable in life.
This broadcast is brought to you by Bold People Get Rich. For more investing knowledge, be sure to visit www.bpgrinc.com.
First thing I want to let y'all know is you can start a trading account with as little as $10, all right? And if you're not greedy and trying to get into this and try to make a whole bunch of money really fast, you would understand that even getting into it with $10, maybe you may not make a lot of money, but you can begin to learn the markets with some skin in the game.
This broadcast is brought to you by Bold People Get Rich. For more investing knowledge, be sure to visit www.bpgrinc.com.
But what this lesson is about is, like I said, for the working person. You do not have to be in front of the computer to actually participate in the foreign exchange market. Did y'all know that? Did you know you don't have to actually press buttons to participate in the foreign exchange market? You don't always have to be in front of the screen.
This broadcast is brought to you by Bold People Get Rich. For more investing knowledge, be sure to visit www.bpgrinc.com.
Welcome to Markup Mondays, where every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we analyze the financial markets, educate the community on trading and investing, discuss world news and popular topics. I'm your host, Delante Brady, Chief Analyst and six-figure earner with Bold People Get Rich, and here are some things you need to know about this broadcast. During the market analysis portion of this call, we often find areas in the market to trade or make our investments. To be updated on these entries, exits, and trade management, make sure you tap the 3 dots on my Facebook page and change following to favorites. This way, you'll never miss an update. To receive investment knowledge, exclusive deals, and updates, click the link tree in my bio and subscribe to our mailing list. If you're viewing this broadcast on YouTube, to be kept up to date, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe. This is an event made for the people, by the people, and we love to hear your feedback and answer your questions during the show. So please feel free to comment as often as you like. Lastly, all forms of investing do involve risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Increasing leverage increases risk. Before deciding to trade in any financial market, you should carefully consider your financial objectives, level of experience, and risk appetite. Any opinion, news, research, analysis, price valuation, or other information contained in this video does not constitute investment advice. No person or persons in this video is a financial advisor. Welcome to Markup Mondays, everybody. Go ahead and drop where you're calling in from, the city and state. First thing we're going to be getting into is reviewing last week. Then we'll get into the news. Then we'll analyze EU, and we'll go over any pairs if we have time to do that. And we'll talk a little bit about what's going on with Ukraine and Russia and Europe. If you can hear me loud and clear, you can see me loud and clear, go ahead and drop a 1 inside the chat. If you can hear me loud and clear, see me loud and clear, everything is good, drop a 1 inside the chat for me. I appreciate it. All right, we are good to go. So let's go ahead and get into it. The first thing we're going to go over is last week's analysis on EU. Let me share my screen. So last week we did not have a Markup Mondays, but I did drop a markup of EU, and I let everybody know where I would be getting in for a buy and where I would be getting in for a sell. And let's see right here. All right, boom. So I posted that Monday night, and I let everybody know, right? I showed everybody where my first buy zone was and where my sell zone was. And here were the results. Let's see. Do I got the results? Yeah. Remove this. Okay, here we go. Give me a quick second, y'all. All right, that was the result. We came down. Let me remove this crosshair. We came down to that buy zone. This is the 4 hour. If you took that trade, you know that I teach you want to take 20 pips because we look for the reaction, but it gave you plenty. That was 122 pip. That was a 122 pip move on EU. All right. I mean, came right down to the buy zone and reacted. All right. So now let's go ahead and fast forward to what's actually going on now. Make sure y'all can see this. And here's where we are today. All right, and I have a setup for you tonight as well. But let's go ahead and go over the news for the upcoming week, and then I want to talk about what's going on with Russia and Ukraine and Europe. Before I do that, let me go ahead and go through the chat and see who's on the call. Welcome, Denver, Akron, Ohio. That's my hometown. My brother Nate, welcome. My cousin Blake, welcome. Khalil, Portland, Oregon, in the building. Welcome, Portland. Welcome, Christine. Sandusky, Ohio. Welcome, Dane. All right, welcome everybody to the call. Welcome. All right, let's go ahead and get into the upcoming news. So I always go over the news first. Not first, but in the beginning of the call before we get into the analysis, because news is what you want to take into account when going over your setups. All right, this is going to determine if you're going to take a trade, what's happening on what day. If we do have a setup, are we going to enter on that day, if it's outside the trading window or inside the trading window. And news has a lot to do with deciding whether or not to take trades, close out trades. It's just something that's very important, and you need to be aware of what's going on with whatever pair it is that you're trading. All right, I trade EU, so I go over the US news and the Euro news, all right, because it's the Euro versus the dollar. So I'm paying attention to what's going on with news in Europe and what's going on with news in the United States. And not specifically as far as like what's going on in the country, but news pertaining to Forex or foreign exchange, right? They have news releases every week. It's pretty much the same thing every week, every month. Everybody knows every first week or every first Friday of every month is NFP. We know we have inflation rate releases. We know we have interest rate decisions, and these things happen every month. All right. And these are things that we need to be aware of. So let's go ahead and get into that. All right, so as far as the euro and the United States dollar, what we have for the upcoming week on Tuesday, which will be tonight after midnight, we have employment change, and then we have the economic sentiment. I have mine filtered where it only shows the red folders. It may be some orange folders in there, but I've learned to just pay attention to the red folders. So we have we have a news release or a red folder news release for EU at 5 o'clock in the morning. So we should expect volatility. Why is this important? Y'all hear me go over this like every week. We should expect volatility. We should expect volatility. Say we find an entry tonight and the trading window is in between, right, 1 in the morning until 11 o'clock in the afternoon. Say I get into that trade at 2 o'clock and it starts consolidating and then it's approaching 5 o'clock. I know there's going to be some volatility at 5 o'clock because of the news release. If I'm in profit, I can decide to shave some of my profits. I can decide to move my stop loss in profit. If it's a losing trade, I can decide to go ahead and close it out, right? These are things that you need to know, and this is the things that you want to take into consideration and how you apply the news to your actual trading. So on Tuesday, we need to be watching out at 5 o'clock in the morning. On Wednesday, we have one news release or one red folder news release for Euro. That's unemployment rates. We know that unemployment rates causes volatility. That's going to be at 5 in the morning. And then we have a lot of U.S. news at 8:30. So we got retail sales and FOMC minutes. All right, so that's going to be at 8:30 in the morning, and then 2 o'clock in the afternoon, which is outside of the trading window. So if you got some trades running after 11 o'clock, just keep that in mind. There is going to be a red folder news release at 2 o'clock. And then on Friday, we just have existing home sales for the United States dollar. So not a lot really going on as far as not really a lot going on as far as Forex news, but we have this situation going on with Ukraine and Russia. And this is something that could possibly rock the markets. All right. Just people or investors are getting uncertain just off of, certain titles of, articles. For example, let me show y'all this. All right, Yahoo News. Look at this title. U.S. warns Russia could invade Ukraine at any time. All right. Now, if we go read the actual article, it says the Pentagon said it believes. All right. Pay attention to the wording. The Pentagon said it believes. So this is not confirmed. None of this is confirmed. This is going off of assumptions from U.S. officials. Right. That Russian President Vladimir Putin has not made a final decision about invading Ukraine, but that it could happen any day with little or no warning. All right, so what does that sound like? That sounds like uncertainty. That sounds like consolidation. Investors don't know what to do. All right, so this is going to be a week where, despite the little news we have in the foreign exchange market, this is going to be a week where we want to shave risk. All right, this is going to be a week where you don't want to be maximizing the risk that you put on for the trades that you take, because the markets are more than likely going to be more unpredictable because of what's going on with Ukraine and the United States and in Russia. All right, because with Russian troops being, stationed outside of Ukraine, we got Russian ships in the Black Sea. Like I was telling the team, uh, Vladimir Putin, Russia, they wouldn't go that far for no reason. All right, they have fleets of ships in the Black Sea around Ukraine. So more than likely, there is going to be war. I'm just giving you my opinion. All right, it's not for sure, but it doesn't make sense for them to go that far into that, that extent and not do anything eventually. So this is something that we want to be watching out for this week. And like I said, knowing this, the most important thing is shaving risk. So if you normally go for 3%, this week you might want to go for 1% on your trades. You might want to risk 1%. All right, you might want to look for that setup, that 20 pip stop loss, 60 pip joint, or 20 pip. But either way it goes, you want to reduce the risk that you normally have. All right, let's see what the people are saying. So Blake says, if we go to war, expect energy and oil stocks to rise like crazy. Exactly. All right, this is something that we've been talking about for a couple of months. Oil. I said 2 weeks ago on a Markup Mondays, if you all remember, that when war happens, oil rises. That's a pattern. I mean, it just is what it is. It's economics. When there's war, there must be fuel used on both sides. So that's going to create a higher demand, which is going to cause gas prices to rise. And you can actually see that already pricing in to U.S. oil. U.S. oil, since the last time we talked about it a couple of weeks ago, has already risen by about $20 a barrel. And we can go ahead and look at that now. And this is before the war. This is before the war, right? Remember, I was saying you have a brokerage and they offer oil contracts, that now would be a good time to get into oil because it's going to be used as a hedge against inflation. Right, U.S. oil is currently at $94.92 a barrel. And the way gas moves, I don't even know. It'll probably give a shallow pullback. But when gas goes in a direction, it just goes in that direction. That's what I've learned about U.S. oil. It doesn't really, I don't really apply the sniper strategy to it. It's kind of like one of those things where if you're going to get into it, expect to just hold it long term. Let's look at this from a higher time frame. Let's look at the highest point that it got to back in 2008. We got up to $146 a barrel. I could see it easily getting up to that, especially with war on the horizon. All right, so U.S. oil is an investment that you should have on your watch list and consider. Now, what would be a logical place to get in, or to buy oil or to invest in oil? Me personally, I always like to see some type of pullback, and we can really just keep it simple and go off of basic support and resistance. I see an obvious high that was created here. We're not going to even get complicated with it. If oil pulls back $10 to $84.91, I would say that would be a reasonable price to get in and invest in oil at $84.94, and it is currently at $94.93. So what's y'all thoughts on that? What's y'all thoughts on, oil? What do y'all believe is going to happen with the price of oil? So stocks like Gush and UCO are good cash picks. All right, so Blake says stocks like Gush and UCO are good gas picks. I remember you telling me about that a couple of years ago, actually. Yep. So what are y'all thoughts? Do y'all believe do y'all believe World War III is on the horizon? Because you know once Russia, if Russia invades Ukraine, the US, they're going to take action, and that means war. That means war with the US. And if the US goes to war with Russia, that means the US is also going to war with who else? See if y'all know. If we go to war with Russia, who else are we going to war with? And while y'all doing that, I'm gonna go ahead and pull up EU. Does anybody know if we go to war with Russia, who else do we go to war with? Don, you got it. You nailed it. China. All right. So what does that mean? That's four superpowers. Europe, United States, Russia, China. That's World War. World War III. Yep. All right, let's go ahead and get into EU because I do believe I seen a setup. And though EU is in a really it's in a really weird place right now, and I think it has a lot to do with what's going on with the news as far as Russia, Ukraine, and the United States. Let's put this back up. Let's go ahead and get me off the screen. Did I said no sound. How long have I been without sound? Can y'all hear me now? My apologies. The whole time. About 10 minutes. The whole time? Oh man. Hold on, wait. So when did I during the analysis went on? Okay. All right. Well, did y'all see the screen? Did y'all see what was going on with the screen? Did it make sense as far as like without it being sound? Did it make sense? Hopefully everything I was doing made sense. I apologize for that. Let me go back out and go over everything one more time. So what I was saying was EU, we broke some major weekly lows. All right, we got all these weekly lows right here, and then we got this weekly low here. We came down, swept that low, and then we had this strong bullish candle that went up. So there's a possibility that we could be going back up, but there's also a possibility that we could be going down because there's some evidence on the lower time frame of a liquidity sweep, what we call a liquidity sweep. All right, so we have equal highs here, and we know when liquidity gets taken, it's used to fuel a move. And with the momentum that they push the market down with on EU, it looks like they're headed back down towards the bottom of the consolidation. And what's going on right now is a rejection or somewhat of a pullback. So I'm actually looking for, as far as the bigger move, I would be looking for a sell. And for tonight, I would be looking for a buy for the, the quick move, the quick 20 pips and out. Let me double check and make sure everybody can hear me. Dope. Good, Larry. Good. I mean, you've been paying attention and you know what you're looking at. So one of my students, Larry, said he was vibing. It made sense without no sound. All right, that good. I mean, I'm doing my job. Girl, I'm glad that you got it. Cool. All right. So, like I said, we treat lower time frame consolidation just like we treat higher time frame consolidation. If we come back up to the top, we would be expecting a sell. If we drop down to the bottom, we would be expecting a buy or a rejection. And so the evidence that we're selling is this sweep here, this wick that came above these highs and took liquidity, stopped people out, brought the market down. And then we have an obvious buying area, right? If we follow institutional footprints, we have an obvious buying area where we rejected from down here, which we'll be able to see once we drop down to the lower time frame. All right. All of my students, y'all recognize what's going on. Following the institutional footprint, I am currently looking for a buy. Drop down to the lower time frame. The buy area I would like to buy from is here. So this would be the first buy zone. Put buy on here. Hopefully we stay above that, before because our trading window starts at 1 o'clock in the morning. I doubt it. We'll probably come down and hit that. But where I'm expecting EU to buy up to, our first rejection would be this area here. All right. So this is where I would expect to sell. It could sell off completely from there. We could just get a pullback and continue up beyond that sell zone and come up to the second sell zone. But these are the zones that I will be paying attention to. All right. So we're currently in a buy area. This is where I would expect reaction. If we, break above this, then I would expect this high here to get taken out, this imbalance to get filled, and then I would expect a reaction from the second sell zone. All right, boom. What this look like on the 15-minute? All right, so the high is a little higher. But we got a lot of highs. We got a lot of highs here. I wouldn't call these equal highs, but they're close, really, really close. And I guess depending on what brokerage you're looking at. but we have some evidence that we should be coming up to this area. If we drop back down into this green zone, like I said, I'm expecting a buy from this area. I would only be going for 20 pips. Remember, this would be counter trend trading. Why would this be counter trend trading? If I went in for a buy here, why would this be considered counter trend trading? Why would that be considered counter trend trading, y'all? Because we would be buying within a downtrend. Higher time frame always trumps lower time frame. We are distributing right now. We're distributing on an hour, and then if we go out even higher, we're distributing on a 4 hour, like the daily. So this is a downtrending market. We've paused, kind of consolidating, and we just got this little action going on right now. All right, so that's it for EU. Those are the zones for the night. Expecting to buy here. Remember, only check for the reaction. You're only looking for 20 pips out of this. And then as far as the sell zone, this is a really big sell zone, but price is in between. Let's see. This is about, I want to say it's a big sell zone. It's a 12 pip range. So in between price level 1.13415 and 1.13536 is the first sell zone. Second sell zone in between price level 1.13847 and 1.13973. All right, we know those are very close to institutional levels. And so if you want to target the institutional levels in those areas, that is perfectly fine. More than likely, we'll get a reaction off of those areas. And then the first buy zone is in between. It's a 4 pip buy zone. And it's in between 1.13047 and 1.13088. Right. Ebony said it's a downtrend overall. Larry, yep, buying a pullback, counter trend trading. Exactly. All right. And those are when you counter trend trade, you really want to know what you're doing, because when you counter trend trade, you go against the trend, you go against the institutional order flow, you risking, you risking more. Basically, it's a less probable trade to go against the trend versus waiting for it to come up to the area you expect to sell from, because it's a downtrending market. All right, so I just want y'all to remember that. We're able to catch these because we understand how the market works, but it is a less probable trade. Okay. All right. And I apologize as far as the weekly news briefs. I haven't been able to put that together. Going through a transition right now, but as far as other pairs that y'all would like me to analyze, we got some time to go over a couple more pairs. If y'all would like me to analyze something, go ahead and drop that in the comment section and we'll get to it. While I'm waiting on that, let's go ahead and look at the cryptocurrency market. So, Blake, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on the cryptocurrency market? It kind of looked like it's starting to, like it want to turn around a little bit, showing signs like it want to hold price where it's at and start turning around. What you think? All right, I'll go over the first one first. Let's go ahead and go over GJ. right? We are looking at the pound versus the Japan yen right now. I'm gonna start at the weekly. Really strong support. I found really strong support right there. And then we got some very close highs, liquidity. And with the way this candle right here is resting above the way price is looking like, it looks like price wants to push up. It's looking like prices, it got that look like it wants to push up beyond these highs. So I'm already going into this with the bias that is going to continue up, even though we do got to take this into consideration too. Looks like we had a sweep of some equal highs here. All right, so similar to EU, we had the same thing happen on EJ. We went up above these highs, cleared the liquidity, and took the market down. We'll see what it looks like once we drop down to the lower time frame. All right, following the institutional footprint. Now, everybody that's in the advanced lessons right now, how many people apply following the institutional footprints? How many people actually apply following the institutional footprints and understanding how important that is? Drop a 2 if you follow, if you use that, if you follow the institutional footprint to come to a decision as far as what you want to do for your entries. Oh yeah, that was definitely a sweep. We broke some lows on the daily. Okay, so got consolidation here. I don't know. I'm feeling the same way that I'm feeling about EU because of this sweep that happened right here. I'm feeling like GJ wants to push down, even if we do find a buying scenario on the lower time frame. Once again, following the institutional footprint. All right, so far the institutional footprint is showing me buys. Institutional footprint. Right, and so if we're selling from this point, then our next sell zone should be here around this area, and we have imbalance to fill, at least from the 4 hour. We'll see what it looks like once we drop down to the lower time frame. But we have 4 hour imbalance here. Got that space with these highs here. And then it looks like we're doing a little bit of consolidation here with imbalance on the downside here. All right, now let's go ahead and drop down to the 1 hour. Definitely clear imbalance. Following the institutional footprint. Let's drop down to 15. Man, that's a lot of imbalance right there. It really looked like they want to come back for it. All right, so if you trade GJ, what news is coming out tonight? What red folders and orange folders do we have on GJ? All right, so honestly, right now, this is in consolidation, even on the lower time frame. Like this is consolidation right here. We broke out of the consolidation here and came right back up into it. So honestly, I feel like it's selling from this point here, and we're buying from this point here, and we're in between two zones where there's nowhere I would take an entry except above this high here. I would go for a reaction sell on GJ if we came up above this high and filled in some of this imbalance. This is where I would go for a reaction sell. All right, so sell zone, say first sell zone. Reaction. All right, so yeah, we got somewhat of a head and shoulders going on. And with this being on the 15-minute, I really feel good about a longer sell from here. All right, so definitely go for the reaction, but I wouldn't be surprised if we do come back above these highs, fill this imbalance, and we sell off from this point, that we come down and we take out this head and shoulders that's being created. All right, because retail traders love head and shoulders patterns, and I see it time and time again, especially on the lower time frame. Head and shoulder patterns fail. I wouldn't even try to buy from this point just because it's too risky. It's too obvious. All right, yeah. So right now, all I see is a sell zone on GJ, something that I would actually, go after. And then as far as a buy, yeah, we would have to come all the way back down to this green area here for me to get in for a buy. And let me pan out one more time just to double check. Yeah, we got the sweep, momentum going down. Yeah, I wouldn't take a buy until we came back down to this area, and I will be looking for sales. All right, so that's what I got for GJ. Go ahead and go back. Clean the chart. That's that. And let's head to the next one. All right, GBP USD. Okay, let's start out on the weekly. So where EU swept lows, GU actually protected a low. So it came down and it never cleared these lows down here. And then it took off. But it didn't take off with enough. It didn't take off with enough momentum. It looks like it lost steam here, and we start selling off again. We're starting to pull back. And so probably going to be looking for sales on GU as well. Following the institutional footprint, keeping it simple. Right, so we know where everything is coming from. Come down to daily. Had a sweep right here. We had a wick that went up, and we brought the market down and broke some lows. And because of this move right here, the way that this is looking, I believe we're going to sell off. I really like this area for a sale here. Let's drop down to a lower time frame and see. Yeah, so for GU, I'm seeing sales. First sell zone for the reaction. All right, so that was pretty simple because we already went over GJ and GU. They move similar, right? The pound versus the yen, the pound versus the US dollar. Let's see. Sweep. Yeah, I have a sweep of the lows. Yeah, the way this is going up, yeah, I feel good about a sell from this area. And that's all I'm seeing though. I don't see any attractive buys. I see reactions possibly. Okay, yeah, so this would be my first buy zone. Action. Got some imbalance here. Yeah, so that's what I got for GU. Right, short, sweet, to the point. First sell zone, I will be going for the reaction here and a buy zone here. Does that line up with what you're seeing, Angel? Because I know you trade GU, Ebony. All right, Denver wants me to look at Litecoin. All right, so let's head over to Litecoin. It's a cryptocurrency. I don't even think I have that on my. Yeah, that's not even on my watch list. Let's see. It looks like the rest of the cryptocurrency market pretty much just consolidating. All right, if I was using the sniper strategy, let's just keep this simple. Nice and simple. If I was using the sniper strategy, this would be my buy zone. This would be my sell zone. Now you see how price is in between both the buy zone and the sell zone. So that lets you know I really don't have a bias as far as which way it's going to go. I only see areas of possible reactions. And that's it. I would expect a reaction from this green zone and a reaction from the red zone. Oh yeah. Well, about really close there. Yep. So that's what I got, Denver. In between the price levels of $134 and $141, I see a reaction for a sale. And in between the price levels of $115 and $107, I see a reaction for a buy or opportunity to catch a reaction for a buy. Oh yeah, no problem, Angel. Good. We're seeing the same thing. That makes me feel good. I'm doing the right thing. I'm looking at the charts right. I know what I'm talking about because I know, if we on the same page, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. All right, gold. Let's go ahead and look at gold. Looks like I already had this marked up. Let's see what I was looking at. All right, so guess I marked this up last week or a couple weeks ago, and I was measuring the extension of where it could go to, and we went up to the 127, and now it's starting to react, and it's also at the top of a consolidation zone. So even though it's bullish, I'm expecting it to be reacting right now because we're near the top of the consolidation. But I also see, let's see. I already know you got this marked up right here, Dan. Look at that confluence. Look at that confluence. I got this right there at the 1618, and that is a significant area for a sell. Let me pull out my crosshairs and see if we can find the institutional level in the area. Yeah. $18.90, I'm thinking. Expect a reaction with the momentum that they're going up with. And then I see a few buy zones. All right. I see a mitigation area. So I know you got that down. There's no doubt in my mind. And then I also see a buy zone. So let me delete this fib. Let's see what this pullback of this extension would be. All right, so the buy zone is about 50% of the extension. The mitigation area is like about 38, so that would be a real shallow pullback. There's no telling what gold is going to do, though. You know, gold moves crazy. Oh. It's an interesting area right there. Me personally, though, I like to see lows get cleared. Anytime I see a buy zone and then I see a low, and then there's like, you know, other buying opportunities or reaction opportunities, the way the institutions move the markets, and because they understand how retail traders trade, a lot of times you'd be better off waiting on a low to get cleared or targeting an area that's above a high or below a low. And so even though I see something on the 4 hour, I would, you could catch a reaction off of that, but I would only be looking for a reaction. If you're really looking for a move, I will wait for this low to get cleared here. If you're looking for that move. Yeah. Yep. And then with it, like I said, with it being so close to the top of the consolidation, we have a point where it fell, and then we have a sell area right above. I'm expecting a strong reaction from this sell zone here because that's also the 1618 of the extension. So that's what I got for gold, Dan. Hopefully I got it right because I know you the master. You the master of gold. You know what I'm saying? I'm just a second set of eyes. Right, like when gold. And then finally, AU. I really like AU. I like AU's price movement because it really reminds me of Euro. You'll see that AUD USD and Euro USD, they move very similar. I really like the price action on AU. All right, so looking at evidence, we have our lows. Let me take this crosshair off. We have our equal lows, and then we have our strong push down. And then we have the push up. All right, so it looks like we grabbed enough liquidity to start heading up. But keep in mind, EU is selling, but this is a different pair. I'm just going off of the price action that I'm seeing. Let me double check. Look at what's going on the higher time frame. All right, so similar to EU, we broke some weekly lows and we took the market up and came back down with momentum. Yeah, so if I was going to sell AU, I would want to sell it from where this sell area is, actually. I would take a chance on the sell from here. Let's see what it looks like on the lower time frame. Remember, we expecting EU. It's in consolidation right now, but I'm expecting EU to buy from where it's at right now and hit an area and sell off. Oh, look at that. Look at the dagger. All right, so let's go. Let's delete this. Look at the dagger, Angel. Look at the evidence. Fake sell-off, dagger, real sell-off. And you know where we target. We follow the institutional footprint. We've already reacted off the area we would be looking for. Right? Boom. And then what do we have? We have some imbalance here. This looks like a clean setup. And then it looks like we're starting to create like a head and shoulders look. But I believe we're going to sell off from this point, targeting this low and this low. Let's drop down to the 15 minutes, see if we see anything else. High here, high here. And let's see if we got any institutional levels in the area. All right, got a small figure, but then we got our half here, which is kind of low. We already fell from the half figure here. All right, so I wouldn't focus so much on institutional levels for this setup. I'm just looking at the imbalance and then this red cells on here and these highs. So yeah, I would expect AU to sell off from this point. Is that pretty much what you were getting, what you were seeing, Angel? Let me say, learn from the best. I appreciate that. Yeah, but that's it. It's 8:57. We got through all the pairs in time. This was perfect timing. That's going to wrap it up for Markup Mondays. If you're catching a recording of this, we do this every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Facebook Live. You can also catch it on YouTube, on our YouTube channel, Bold People Get Rich. But that is it. That wraps it up for Markup Mondays. I hope everybody got value from this call. I wish everybody happy trading. Remember, stay safe in the markets this week. We could have some unexpected volatility. I recommend shaving risk. Like I said, if you normally risk, 3%, 5%, cut that in half. At least, cut it in half. All right, but that's it. That wraps it up. I will see you all next Monday. For the students, I will see you in the chats and on the charts. And remember to always stay safe, but stay dangerous. Peace.